Welcome back to the OHSU Effect. I'm Lacey Evans. So not only is OHSU concerned about your health and well-being, it's also concerned about the well-being of the environment. OHSU is involved in a number of green initiatives, including green construction, recycling, and biking. But the hospital also seeks to be green in the cafeterias. With me now to talk more about this is Eocole Copen. Good morning.
Good morning.
So you are the Sustainable Food Programs Manager at OHSU. What does that mean?
Well, it means that I get to wear several hats. The main thing is that I find my job to be increasing access to fresh, locally grown food to all OHSU patients, staff, students, and visitors. So I get to help food and nutrition figure out ways to build the infrastructure needed in the hospital setting to support a sustainable food system.
So when we think of cafeterias as being green, I think of like moldy green food, but of course that's not what we're talking about here.
We don't want that. That's a food safety issue.
Yeah. So tell me more in depth about how you are taking these sustainable practices into the cafeteria.
Sure. Well, I think the important thing is to look for the low-hanging fruits. What's available in our region? What's available locally? How can we support local growers and thus the local economy without making a huge dent in our budget? So we look for products that we can switch out with a really good argument. For example, those that have the greatest impact on human health, health being our number one priority at the hospital. So we look for produce that is locally grown without the use of synthetic pesticides and herbicides. We'll look at products that have third-party certifications like organic, meat raised without added hormones or antibiotics. And those are all agricultural practices that potentially can harm human health. And then there's also the compostable side of things where we get to actually compost our food waste and compost all the food service ware that we actually buy that is compostable. So right now, OHSU is composting about 110,000 pounds every single month. That's over 1 million pounds of food waste kept out of our landfills each year. And our net savings from that program has been about $60,000 over the course of past 6 years. So that's roughly about $10,000 each year.
Yeah. Well, you talk about all the food waste that's being composted. So how big are the food operations at OHSU? It's like a small city, right?
It is a small city. Yeah. We have an operating a food budget of about $8.5 million, and we have about 360 employees just in our department. So I think we're the second largest department at OHSU.
So why did OHSU choose to go green in this area?
Well, I would say that my boss would probably say because it's the right thing to do. Steve Hyatt's really behind the right thing to do.
One interesting aspect of your program are the efforts to buy locally. What do you do? What are the benefits?
Well, an example is in 2010, our buyer, Scott Cochran, reached out to Carmen Ranch, a grass-fed Food Alliance certified cattle rancher from Wallowa, Oregon. Their cows are raised without the use of added antibiotics or hormones. They were willing to give us a great price because of our commitment and volume. So basically, they were giving us a flat price for the number of pounds we were buying rather than, the varying prices for different cuts. So the amazing thing was that between OHSU and Fulton and Carmen Ranch, we were able to reach this agreement where Fulton would take on Carmen Ranch. And this was the first time a wholesaler was willing to take on Carmen Ranch. So because of that, they were able to start selling their wholesale cuts out to all sorts of businesses around Portland. And their family's business grew from $27,000 in wholesale sales to $238,000 in wholesale sales just in 1 year's time, which is pretty amazing. So it really helped to stabilize our source of high-quality, sustainably raised, affordable beef. And it also helped to stabilize their family's local business, which then, of course, is a really great example of stabilizing the infrastructure for sustainable food systems. In addition, we kept our budget neutral by switching out expensive cuts of conventionally grown meat to lower-cost cuts of grass-fed meats. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So it sounds like helping that local business is kind of a fringe benefit of going green.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're able to really support the local economy. We spent, I think, approximately $500,000 just in the local economy. And when you talk about the multiplier effect and spending money within the economy, I believe it's something like 4 to 5 times. The money multiplies about 4 to 5 times within the local economy as opposed to if you spend money outside of the local economy.
What other types of green initiatives are taking place up at OHSU?
Oh, there are quite a few. We have the OHSU Farmers Market, which is very exciting, and we have eco roofs being built up there. We have electric carports. We have a Garden of Healthy Delights, which is a volunteer garden that OHSU volunteers have put together that feeds berries to the Ronald McDonald House for families of children who are staying at the hospital. There are lots of things going on up there. Very exciting.
Sounds fun.
We also have something called the It's All Good store, which is a natural food store where we sell mostly organic, local, no GMOs. There's a whole slew of standards that we have for that particular store. So if you walked into that store to buy something, you know it would be coming from either a good place or a good source of food.
Eocole Copen, the Sustainable Food Programs Manager at OHSU. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
And next week, we're going to talk about clinical trials, cancer and our diets, and also primate research. I'm Lacey Evans. This is the OHSU Effect, Inside Health and Science.